Hey, it's Zach in marketing, and I'm going to show you quickly how to create a new employment position uh, on the NNU website. So what you'll see here is I'm already logged in, and what you do is you go to Groups in the main menu, and then you go to List. Go ahead and click on that, and then scroll down. You're going to go to Human Resources. This practice is, of course, for only somebody who works in the Office of Human Resources. So Uh, and right here next to the human resources link right here, you're going to see about this as edit. I think it will actually say the word nodes right there. I'm not quite certain, but if it doesn't, you can just hit this little drop down and go to nodes. But anyway, you'll click on nodes and you'll be brought to a screen here that will show you all of the nodes that you have access to in the system. What that really means is just all the content you can edit in the system. And what you'll see is, like for currently, is all of the older um, employment positions and HR pages that are currently on the site. So you can edit those, but there's a new process for adding an employment position. You'll notice right here that most of the page content types are this component page, and that's kind of like just a default or kind of a made from scratch type of page in the system. And we make a lot of these because they really work well for varying content. But something like an employment position is actually a pretty structured type of, um, or a very structured piece of content on our site. So what we've done is created a new content type called employment position. And it's a lot simpler to use than editing a component page, and that will really kind of make this process a lot faster. So to add a new employment position, what you're going to do is click on Add New Content right here. And when you click on this button, I think you'll only be given the choice to see employment position here. So you'll go ahead and click Group Node Employment Position. And it's going to bring you to just a very simple editing form. So the title is where you'll put the title of the position. So I'm just going to call this like test job. And then you'll choose what's called a review date. This is a date that's always been appended to the bottom of an employment position when we've posted it to the NNU website. By default, it's set to today, but you could just click this little down arrow and choose a day from the past or a day in the future. Not sure why you would need to do that though. And then from there on out, you're presented with just a super basic just body of or a WYSIWYG that will just let you put in the body copy of the job description. This includes really just what I would call like the core job description. And I'll show you what that means here in just a second, but really that is it just is the basis of the position. So like the essential functions or the primary responsibilities, usually kind of broken into a couple of bullet lists, and then the kind of primary description of the position. The link to the application and how to contact HR and everything else is just going to be templated into the page. So here I'm just going to kind of write something really simple in like this: test job post. You to be awesome at what you do, et cetera, et cetera. And I would say to build like a bullet list in here, you can start a bullet list by just kind of keying in the lines that you need. So line 1, line 2, line 3, and then you can just highlight those and click on the bullet list right there. And it'll just kind of build that bullet list for you. If you are copying and pasting in from like a Google Doc, I really recommend not just doing a cold copy and paste, mostly because what you'll pick up from Word contains a ton of other information, all the style information and lots of other things. And what you really want to do is just bring in cold, basic text right here into the body of the job description. So you have a couple of tricks. One, you could try using the WYSIWYG here, and there's a little button right here. It says paste from Word, and that should try to kind of clean up what you've pasted from Word or another kind of data source into the system by kind of helping strip away a lot of the styling in there. If you're on Google Chrome, the trick that I like to use is to copy some text, and then instead of just doing like a Control V to paste, or if you're on a Mac, a Command V to paste, if you hold that Shift key while you paste, it will actually paste in there as plain text. So you can just do Command Shift V and get just plain text. Otherwise, what you get is the styled information. So we don't really want to keep that styled info. We want to just paste it in as plain text and then come in and style it up afterwards. So then you could re-highlight the text and build a bullet list, or bold that line that you wanted to be bold. I'm going to save this for now, and that way we can just kind of see it working here, and you can see it on the site. So when you save it, it'll bring you right to the page, and you'll notice here I put test job. It's called test job. It comes under this little header called employment position on our site. The URL is something like nnu.edu/employment position / and then the name of the job. And it says Northwest Nazarene University, and then you'll notice it put in the copy that I wrote into the body in that WYSIWYG. And then, but you'll notice it also has all this other information. It has the application process, the link to the application, what you need to provide, how to contact HR, and then there's that review date right here at the bottom. And so we'll just kind of leave that templated into the system, because I think it's the same for every job, but this is the key stuff that has to change, and change regularly. So let's quickly go back to edit that position again. You go to Groups, go to List, and you're going to scroll down to HR, Human Resources right there. You're going to go to Nodes, and you'll notice there's that test job position. If you want to edit this position again, make a change to it, you can. You'll just click this little down arrow over here and go to Edit Node. That brings you right back to the editing form, and you can pick up where you left off. Now, unlike component pages, and unlike the permissions set to other users, people who are posting job descriptions to the site have a kind of an elevated level of permissions. You have the ability to make changes to a position immediately, and they will go live immediately. So if you happen to make a mistake, it will be on the website. Also, secondly, you can just kind of publish and unpublish a job description by checking this little published checkbox down here at the bottom of the site. Now, this doesn't necessarily add the posting to the job postings page. We're going to show you that in a second. But what it does is it shows or hides this page from the web. So if it's published, the URL will be available. If it's unpublished, if you check that little box and unpublish the article, then effectively that URL will give a 404 to the public, meaning it will not be found. So this is a way that we can kind of hold on to old job descriptions in the system, but just not show them to the public. So we don't have to delete and then recreate everything, because over time we'll reuse some of these posts. So I'm just going to unpublish this and click Save. And then I'm going to show you how to add it to the job posting page.
Okay, so let's add this new employment position to the Career Opportunities page. It's called the Employment Positions page in the system. Again, you'll go to Groups, go to List, scroll down, go to Human Resources, and click on Nodes. If you don't see that, of course, again, you'll be able to click that little down arrow and click on Nodes. And inside there, you'll see this Employment Opportunities page. And unlike the employment position content type, this is a component page. And there's a little bit different editing process that goes into changing a component page. Still, you can click this little down arrow and click Edit Node. So unlike a position posting, you don't see a form here when you go to edit that node like you did previously. Instead, what you have to do is use the layout editor to make changes on a component page. And to get to that, you click on Layout. And this will take a little bit to load because it's really bringing in a whole bunch of code here. But essentially what it will give you is the page broken up into specific blocks of content. Really, these are called sections and blocks. And you'll see a few sections with some blocks inside them. One of those blocks is called the positions available block. It looks like this. And to edit this block of content, you'll notice when I hover over it with my mouse, there's this little pencil that shows up right here, this little editing pencil. And when you hover over that, you can click on Configure. That's where you go to get to the editor for this page. So in this case, if we needed to add an exempt position here, you'll see I've got the little WYSIWYG window over here, and I can just put my cursor at the end of this bulleted list and hit enter to create a new bullet, and then type in something like test post or test position. I can't remember what I called it, then to build the link, you'll just come up here and click on the link icon in the WYSIWYG. You'll highlight the text, click on the link icon. It'll bring up a little window that looks like this, and you can just start typing in the name of the page. So, test job, and you'll notice it brings up this little content window here. There's a little bit of a bug in the system right now. It's not really showing this whole menu, so you can kind of scroll down right here. You can also push the down arrow to select the piece of content here. If you have the name of the page or the name of the job posting written as exactly as it appeared in the form, then you'll be able to see that kind of pulled up right away. And you can just choose test job out of that list that shows up. That will build a link to the node in the system, so then you can click Save. And then scroll all the way down here on the window to click Update to that piece of content. And now you'll see it reflected right away, that link to the test position. When you're done with that, you can scroll back to the top of this page. This is an important step. And click Save Layout. Because you work in human resources, you will be able to publish your page directly. So make sure this doesn't say draft, but it says published. And then it will make those changes live to the site right away. That's important to remember. This change will go live as soon as you click Save if this is set to published. So you can go ahead and just click Save Layout. Now I'm not going to do that here because I don't want to create this test position. So I'm going to go ahead and just discard this set of changes. But pretty much that's it. That's how you go and you create a new job posting in the system, and that's how you edit the component page in the system to add your own or add that new job position to the site.